So I have realized several things I am kind of struggling with. And to be honest, my schedule kind of sucks because I'm trying to manage a company with several clients, and then at the same time working with my mentor, doing inbound lead calls, things like that for him, and eventually maybe even doing cold calls, things like that. But for now, they're running ads, and that's going pretty well. So progress on that front is good. It's just my schedule is all over the place. So what I've started doing is for the next couple of days, I made like these sticky notes, and I'm basically going to be dialing during this time in like a checkerboard pattern of like an hour of dialing, an hour rest, an hour of dialing. Next day, fill in the gaps, things like that, to figure out what times are best for dialing, and then have a rigid time to do that. So then everything else in my day plans around that. So if I'm dialing from 8 to 12 or 12 to 3, something like that, then I can do deep work from 3 to 5, and then I can work out from 5 to 6 or something like that. And then I have a much more structured and planned out day. But like just right now things are kind of crazy with all of that. Have a call coming up in a few minutes, but basically just a quick update of what's going on. I just had to kind of like end a crisis on YouTube for one of my clients. I was posting a video, and we had like a YouTube, like, I don't know, YouTube had a stroke, and like tried to take down the video, so I had to re-upload it and fix a couple of things, and it was a nightmare. But I'm realizing having like basically no structure to my day-to-day schedule of like bouncing things around all the time, things like that, it's not going to end well, because like I think I'm going to be dialing in an hour, and then a call comes up, or then like I don't know, I have to do some deep work because suddenly I have to do some work for one of my clients. I just completely restructured our entire system to getting video ideas for both my clients that we're really going heavy into content on. One of them is doing short form, one of them is doing long form, completely different niches. Had to do so much research to finding out what works, had to really take a deep dive into the data we had and like analyze it and do things like that. And that's basically all been in the past 3-4 days. So things are moving really quickly, and I've just been so busy and all over the place. So I guess the next few steps are just optimizing things. And you see, the issue is I'm running into a problem where I don't know the balance of time to do dials and work for my mentor compared to my own stuff. And right now I'm not trying to grow my business, I'm trying to just maintain it. But the things that come up, we have to keep improving and analyzing and fixing, and things like that for content, because that's how content works. It's all analytics. You see a thing does good, you do more of that thing, you adjust, do more of it. So that's going to help me find that kind of structure in my day of, this is the time we're calling, this is the time you can do deep work, and then have an immovable schedule, because otherwise I'm just all over the place and doing like I had I think it was like 15 minutes before one of my calls from after another call at one point today, and then I had to prepare something for the next call, so I completely completely came up with a structure for our thumbnails, something like that, made a video on it, sent it to our thumbnail guy, and did a bunch of stuff like that. So all in the span of like 15 minutes before that call, and I have another call coming up in half an hour, basically the same thing. Now I don't know if our guys are going to show up, because no one's really responding to the text. So if they don't, we're going to have to reschedule. But still, I got to have it prepared. If they don't show up, I'm going to send it to them regardless, have a loom that explains everything that's going on, and we can still move forward that way and keep everyone informed as to what's going on. Yeah, there's just a couple of things that we need to figure out. And I'm going to be honest, like, I've never worked this hard in my life, but at the same time this smart in my life. Like, I've worked hard. I've run marathons. I've worked really hard, to the point where I could barely stand, I could barely think, I could barely comprehend things, where I was getting no sleep, anything like that. But I'm feeling the best I've ever felt, at least in recent memory. I'm getting the most done because I have systems in place. And with this, I'm going to improve those systems so that not only do I have a predictable schedule, but I also am able to continuously improve it, right? Because if you know what you're going to do every hour of the day when you wake up, you don't have to sit there for an hour figuring it out, messaging people, are you able to make it at this time still? Okay, cool, let's do that. Like I basically have to contact one of my clients because I film content for them. So I ended up contacting them for like 2 weeks ahead. Hey, can we record on this day? And then by the time that day comes up, a week beforehand, I'll know when he can record and things like that, so we can get that going, right? That just keeps things a lot easier for me because I can plan things out in a longer time frame. The funny thing is, one of my friends is super busy, but it's my friend who I like work out with, and we go, cook steaks together, and the cool people things. And like I schedule time for us to be able to hang out because my schedule is so like all over the place. I need to know ahead of time when we're going to be doing all of that. But yeah, things are going really well. I'm really happy with the progress, and I mean, this is just the start. I just kind of wanted to make an update video because it's been a while, and like I'm getting really good at the calls. Like I've brought forward some ideas to my mentor, and he was like, that's actually not a bad idea, and I've started doing more follow-ups, having more responsibility, things like that, and even covering for him. Like he couldn't take a sales call, so I took it instead of him, and I even closed the guy. So that's really nice. Of course, it was a pretty simple close, but again, still, like closing a client in for my mentor who I'm working for, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? And at the end of all of this, I'm gonna not only get really good at talking to people, to prospects, potential clients, know what to say, know how to follow up. I'm gonna also like pay my mentor, for more mentorship, because right now I'm kind of just doing stuff for him. He's not really helping me with anything, and that's fine. I don't want to grow the business while I'm working with him, because then that would just give me more stuff to worry about. And then when we kind of part ways, I'm going to pay him for mentorship, and then I'll be on his good side, because I helped him out so much. Like I'm not asking him to pay me anything, And then I'm also going to have that skill, not only sales, but also a better understanding of how to speak to clients, to prospects, things like that, and just being better on the phone. And then I'm going to ask him for mentorship, probably pay him too. I don't care. I have money, I'll pay him. And then that's where I start scaling my own business. And that's where I start making all the money. Like, this is a long-term plan. This isn't like trying to make money tomorrow, Just looking at our group chat, we're all like, there's like 7 voice messages, that we're just sending each other voice messages and stuff. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that's how things are going. And at this rate, I mean, this guy is really helping me with my work ethic, because like he's really keeping me accountable. It's amazing, because I can't tell you the amount of times I wanted to fall back to old habits and just kind of chill and do whatever. But I'm like, damn, he's gonna get so pissed if I don't do these dials. So I'm gonna do these dials, and I've been doing them. That's why I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dialing sessions tomorrow, 5 dialing sessions the next day, each one lasting about an hour. So that's gonna be like 4.5 hours on the phone tomorrow, the next day, and then hopefully for the rest of the week. So I'm gonna be pretty busy with that. But once I get that rigid like schedule going, then I'm not gonna have to worry about preparing any of that stuff. I'm just gonna know what I'm doing that day, know what times I'm gonna dial, and then that's gonna be that. There's not gonna be any, oh, let's experiment, let's test this out. I'm just gonna know, and that's gonna be so helpful. So that's all for my rant for the day. Just wanted to give an update from my last video, because there's a lot of new stuff going on, but nothing has crashed and burned yet, so that's a positive.